What's good, y'all? It's your boy J Curve back in the building with another Magic Minute podcast. All right. Today, we're about to get straight into it. Let's talk about the Magic, man. We got a game going on right now. Cavs, close game. We're in the third quarter right now, wrapping it up in the third quarter. We also have a special guest joining us in a little bit, but we're gonna talk a little bit before we get to that point. So,
we do it just for the people. It's another Magic Minute. 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 Just in case you might forget it. Like I said, it's for the fans who scream "Go Magic!" No matter where you are. In the car, with the near or far. One more time, I'ma tell you who we are. It's another Magic Minute. It's another Magic Minute. Just in case you might forget it.
See what he said. Yes.
Hey guys, so I'm happy to announce that our guest has finally made it. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna bring him in. It's gonna get lit real quick because we're gonna talk to. Yes, we're gonna bring him in. One, the only, just Hollywood.
Hey man, thank y'all so much for having me. Number two, it sucks that this comes after a terrible loss. I'm gonna say we scored 130 points, not 105 or 104, but still a loss at the end of the day. So we gotta dive into that. But I appreciate y'all for honestly just waiting for me, and I'm definitely thankful for the opportunity on this channel. So definitely need a reintroduction of all of y'all so we could clip this on my channel. We'll post this and shout out all of you guys. So definitely appreciate y'all for the shouts outs.
Let's do that right now then. What's good, y'all? It's your boy J Curve in the building.
Yo, it's El Mágico.
Yes, sir.
And it's your boy Gotham Grails.
Oh yeah, and how y'all fellas doing tonight, my man?
We good, man. We good. We just
that's BS. I ain't good. We lost.
No, I mean I'm good, but I could be better. You know, my spirits are high, but the morale is low.
We ain't good, but we still good. You know what I'm saying?
We survived. Yeah, we not good. Or however that commercial is. Are you good? Nah, Paulo, I'm not good. I'm not good right now, Paulo.
Yeah.
I felt that.
The one thing is you just missed it. Grills went over the box score, and we played well. We got a lot of people in double digits. You know, everybody got their thing. Kept the turnovers down. You know, we're playing a Cleveland team that is hot. They are hot, and they are on a crazy run right now. They're on all cylinders, and we just got beat by a better team. You know, and props to our team, like you said. You know, we scored 130 something points. You know, so it wasn't for lack of trying. You know, our defense. We had a little discussion. You know, 134 points is still unacceptable from a defensive standpoint. So it's just a matter of trying to figure that whole thing out. You know, we kind of discussed Jalen Suggs. Not having Jalen Suggs is unfortunate, but we shouldn't rely only on Suggs to be our backbone.
Yeah, I mean, and what I will say, I think you could see that this team, when we go against a team with a great point guard, you could see when we don't have a good point guard, it's like, oh man, and we get cooked every time. It doesn't matter if it's a James Harden level point guard or even an Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves is still a decent point guard. If Austin Reeves were to somehow, some way come to the Orlando Magic, I know a lot of people on this fan base be like extremely excited. So it's like, I know going against the James Harden, I'm looking at it like, man, not only do we not have Jalen Suggs, but we don't even have our backbone, which is Anthony Black. So it's like, at the end of the day, to not have both of our point guard, not only that, but Franz Wagner as well, it's like a good chunk of that scoring option that we do have, which is still minute because we don't really have a lot of, let's say, scoring when it comes to this team of just consistent scoring. It's always like Wendell has a double here, Jalen Suggs pops off for 25 over here, Bane has his 35 plus over here, but it's not really like a every night, every week you can consist these numbers. And I will say, I think in this game, you can really tell if we had a point guard, we might have won this game. Just like in some games when Wendell acts like a shooter, and if we would have had a good center in that game, we would have won that game, you know. And like, there's a lot of, you can see this team just has a lot of holes that need, and of course it sucks that injuries are a lot of the reasons why we have these holes, but it is at the end of the day part of the game, so we have to be able to adjust to it, so we can't use it too much as an excuse. But I will say I am glad at least even without a point guard, we're still able to produce that 131, so we're able to show at least, sure, y'all may not have that point guard running up the play or drawing it up, but at least we're still able to point wise with Paulo going crazy on a back-to-back nights. It's just great to see, at least in a loss, still a half glass full type of moment to talk about.
Yeah, and like I was saying earlier before you got on, this was a playoff intense kind of game. So like, this is a good experience game for these guys. I know we don't take moral victories over here. We don't take anything away from a loss, but the way they play against Cleveland, it seems like there's a budding rivalry there going with Cleveland. It seems like they have each other's number. It seems like
years ago.
What's that?
Since 2 years ago.
Right. So
we
like
had that first round battle.
Exactly.
That was 7 games. That was a battle. And I think that that became our
They
rival.
still have a lot of their core left from that, I know they got rid of a lot of guys, but they still have a lot of those, championship aspirations and those guys that were there when we played against them in the playoffs. So, and we have all of our guys. So it's not like,
and they were even talking about it on the broadcast. Like most of these guys, and I didn't really realize it because, as Magic fans, and I mean, it's kind of good to have us all on like one platform. I know you guys are a group, but like just myself being in Miami, like there's no Magic fans. So it's pretty cool to at least you guys to know the experience that I'm talking about. And it's like with our type of players, they're only here for a good 4 or 5 years. And then it's boom, we dish them off and we start the process over again. So it's like we're getting to that point with these young guys, right? And of course they're staying, and of course we're re-signing and all of that. But it's like you forget that like a Jalen Suggs has been a Magic forever. Mm-hmm. Anthony Black, a Magic forever. Paolo Banchero, Magic forever. Like all of those players from like, and they even said somebody like a Mo Wagner started with the Lakers, but never like nobody talks about Mo Wagner on the Lakers. Nobody mentions that. They all mention him as like a Magic.
He was in Detroit for a little hot second.
I think so, but like nobody even talks about that, And it's like unless you're a Magic fan who has a custom wrestling mask, who loves the team so much, you're not gonna know that Mo Wagner stopped in Detroit. You're gonna know that he's in Orlando Magic playing with his brothers. So it's like knowing that these guys are now being that Magic team where it's like, okay, like we're now seeing I don't mean to compare the team, but this is the newest version of that like 2009 run that we can have. We're just in the early stages, of course. I think we have so much left, but if there was ever a team out of, if you look at the decade from 2020 to 2010s, if there was ever a run, I think this team could be the type that could make it. It's just with injuries, it's so hard to find your identity when constantly you have to rely on, okay, the one guy who's going crazy is going to go down for 5 months. So how are we going to survive? Whether it's Paolo, Franz, AB, so on and so forth.
Yeah, man.
That was one of the conversations that we were having. My take on, I feel we don't have a deep bench count,
Yeah.
I don't feel that we have. I think that we're slowly gaining missing pieces that we need, but we don't have a full roster that we can rely on. We also don't have a rotation. We don't have a rotation that works. That's coaching. That's not just playability. And that's my take. What about you, Mike?
I disagree wholeheartedly. I think we do have a deep bench. I think when you think about, because he is, again, perception is everything. Our bench is our starting lineup. Tristan Da Silva is our bench. Jamal Cain is our bench. For most of the stretches, Goga is our bench. Like we have had to substitute. In the grand scheme of things, Anthony Black is our bench. Like the names I'm rattling off, these are our bench players. We're playing with our third stringers as our bench because of all the injuries that we're dealing with. Because we have 4 of our, with the exception of JI, but I would say top 4 defensive. But we have 3 of our top scorers out. Franz Wagner. I mean, I'm saying superstar names. Franz Wagner, Jalen Suggs, Anthony Black. My man has the dunk of the year. But so when you put that in perspective, we do have a deep bench. That's why that's why I disagree that we're not there. Our problem is injury. And yes, it's an excuse, and yes, but it is the fact of the matter is we have a very top heavy in scoring and defense sitting on our bench right now, rehabbing. And once we get those pieces back, it's exponential, the level of success that we're going to have. Because how are you going to stop just our starting 5? How are you going to stop Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero, Wendell Carter Jr., Desmond Bane, and Jalen Suggs? Those 5 guys on the court, who are you going to stop? You're going to have to double Paolo? Oh, guess what? We got everybody now open like that. You're going to triple Paolo? Oh my goodness. We're going to be shooting on you. We're going to have the space. We're going to have the confidence, going into the playoffs and especially looking into next year. I mean, Desmond Bane 1 year in, feeling like he's part of this family now. He's blue and white hardcore now. We got everybody that kind of seasoned in together. Hopefully we don't ship out 7 players again like we did last season, and we keep this extended core. Our Tristan Da Silva, like even Jet Howard is, he's considered our third stringer, but he can go off at any moment. So I don't think it has nothing to do with our roster. It has to do with health. And then of course here's the big controversial thing that we had. I would love to get your opinion, Hollywood, is what do you think about our coach?
I think, like, honestly, point blank period, I was the one who, like, truly was advocating for Mose for a while. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think a lot of people jump ship way too early, but I'm at the point right now where I as well have jumped ship, sadly, and none of it is personal at all. I think as a person, like, you see him, like, be definitely relatable to people. He's always, like, taking pictures and stuff like that. So definitely it's not, like, as a personal coach, but I've always believed, like, my hot take when it comes to coaching this team is that we cannot have a players coach if we want to win a championship with this team, solely because our team is young, and when you have a young team, you need a stern coach. It just is what it is, because, like, we're so young that when Paolo throws his hands up and it's the first quarter and we're against the Los Angeles Laker team, you need a coach to be like, it's the first quarter, dog. Like, you're not even allowed to do that this game, but it's only the first quarter. Like, cut it out, you know? And, like, I think with Mosley, there's times where he does do some things where I'm just like, you're trying to prove yourself for these players, and I get it. That's what you have to do. But it's like, they're grown men, you know? It's not college, not high school. So it's like, at the end of the day, I think with this team, yeah, if we get a stern coach, of course, you always want to compare it to, like, the best one, right? So, like, a Phil Jackson type of coach, where it's like, even a Doc Rivers as coach, where it's like, all right, like, you know, cut the S, like, we gotta become this team right now. If not, we're gonna lose. Like, and say that on the bench, not on the podium after the game when we just lost a 21-0 run to the Houston Rockets without changing our rotation but won during that run, you know, or something in that type of time frame or game frame, where it's like, even this game, where it's like, I'm not gonna lie, like, this game, there were moments where, why every single game is there a 40-point quarter on the other side? No matter if it's Cleveland, LA, like, if it's the first, second, third, fourth, there's gonna be a quarter where the other team scores 40 points, 35 plus. And I feel like it's just so many games that can go by without you being like, okay, like, there has to be some type of change. So to me, I think we just have to start fresh right now, where it's like, these kids are still young, because if we wait just one more year, 2 more years, it can really, like, these next 2 to 3 years are really detrimental to the future of the franchise when it comes to winning. So I feel like if we want to win now, yeah, same thing what El Mágico said. I don't think our bench is terrible, but I think if we did have to move any pieces, it would be our bench. It would be like, I don't see our starting five going nowhere. The only one that I see would be a Wendell Carter Jr., and it would only be if we get a true center, even if it's a lower caliber center, just to dish him off. I think Wendell needs to go to like, honestly, not even to hate, but like a Laker team, a team that can use a shooting big. We just don't have regular shooters, so how can we use a shooting big when we need our big to grab all the boards we can get, because we're not shooters? So it's like, we need a true big. Once we get that, I think our wins are gonna start racking up, and then our bench, the Jet Howard. I'm a big Jet Howard believer. Noah Penda. You see the stat line where every game I'm looking over these box scores, and you're seeing that, sure, Noah Penda may have 4 points, right? But why is it that he has 6 boards, 3 assists, 2 steals, and it's like every game he's on that other side of that stat line, and he's only in the game for 12 minutes, you know? So it's like, if I'm being able to notice this, the people who are paid millions of dollars should be able to notice things like this. Just like you said, if we don't have a rotation that fit, why not keep changing it instead of going, okay, let's just change up the guard and see what's like, let's put Goga in and see if that works. If that doesn't work, just for Goga to go 2 for 3 and have 4 boards in a game where we need him to have 10 plus boards as a starting center.
Sure. Like you said a bunch, and that was a lot of what we were talking about earlier too. So they were going at me about the Coach Mose thing, because I'm a Mose believer. Like, I believe in Mose all day. But you did make a lot of good points right now. Like, I do an X's and O's coach who's just like, look, this is the schematics, this is what we're doing. That's what they were hitting me with earlier. Like, we need a guy who was like, yo, cut the mess, just get to it, just get out here and play the game.
Yeah, we need a guy who will yell at the player to his face. We need
Coach Brian Hill, perfect example. That kind of guy.
Stan Van Gundy. What made him one of the best coaches, I think, is he wasn't scared of Dwight. He was this little Mario Brother looking coach talking to this monstrosity of a man, like he's 2 feet tall. That's what we need. That's what we and again, we were kind of thinking, like, you know, how much of this does the front office have, you know, real control over, you know, keeping Jamal from being that type of coach. You know, we don't know the back end of things, but something definitely has changed. I always told him, you know, I'm getting tired of writing the word platitude, because that's the only way the coach talks. He doesn't talk in specifics. He doesn't give us actionable plans, you know, especially in the business world. Everything is smart, you know, specific, measurable, actionable, repeatable, and I forgot the other one. But either this is not what he does. He doesn't do that. He has these, well, you need to sit down here and you need to just try.
Yeah.
Okay?
He doesn't give us any statements we can follow up in a month and be like, all right, it's been a month and you said last month that we were going to be better here, here, and here, and we're still there. It's the same notion, but I feel like sport has been in that notion for a while now, because even in high school, I graduated in 2018, and I remember in high school, one of my teachers saying I never watch post-game interviews in any sport because it's all the same thing. How do you feel after the game? I feel great. I feel tired. Oh, what can the team do to be better? Oh, so on and so forth. So it's like, I think it goes to that, what we were talking about at that AB Cares kickball tournament, which shout out to that. But we were talking about how like actual journalism again, and I feel like our coach, but it also falls on our journalism team. They can't ask the same questions on how can this team become a better team after losing their 6th game. Obviously, like that's any type of answer, you know. So I feel like Mose also has given great answers as well, which that's why like I will give Jay Kerr this notion where I've always said that Mose has never had a fully healthy team for a full season, not one time. So it's like it is hard to expect you to be able to drink a gallon of water when the gallon constantly has holes that you have to like cover, and once you cover one, there's another one that opens and cover that one. So it's like I get it
for him to keep going with. It's just like, how do you build a plan if there's no consistent?
However, how do you explain Missoula? Missoula had lost his superstar, Jason Tatum, and then his whole squad got blown up. You know, everybody got shipped out everywhere. He lost his big man. He lost Porzingis. You know, they made all these different moves and stuff. So I mean, and they're what? They're number 2 in the East. I mean, so it can be done.
But that's the Boston Celtics.
Players getting shipped off is not the same as having injured players sitting, not being able to utilize.
And plus, I'm gonna bring up another point that we always talk about when we bring up Miami. I hate to bring up Miami, but when we talk about the historic franchise with the tenure, like Boston, whatever they're doing up there for however many hundreds of years now has been working. So you know what I'm saying? Even if they wipe the slate clean and bring in 12 guys we ain't never seen before, generic A, B through Z, they're all gonna be playoffs.
I mean, at the end of the day,
you know
they're spending the bread that we never have spent ever in our franchise history, and I
this
feel
is the
like
first time we spent it.
Exactly. That's the only reason. I don't think skill wise we're at the same level. And to think about it, our 2009 squad, which you would say is like quote unquote one of our best, they wouldn't even like, honestly, I don't even know if you put that. I think would be a great conversation. You put that team versus this team right now. I really don't know like how that series would go. Because like Dwight's a legend. Dwight's that Hall of Famer, sure, but this is the type of team where Anthony Edwards has scored 40 plus on us and their team has lost by 20 plus or 15 plus. We've learned how to have the star score their 30 plus but still be able to win the game. So I wouldn't count out this team, and plus we have a lot of faith in them. I feel like in 2009 we had faith in them, but the whole league didn't have faith in the Magic until we started becoming good, and they were like, oh wow, like this Dwight Howard kid's actually pretty good, and then they started showing us love. But it was just for that period, and that period alone. Now with Paolo, we're having that superstar reach, right? Like Dwight had a good amount. What he got drafted what year was it that Dwight had? In 04, right? And he had from 04 to 09, right? That was a good 5-year period. Paolo's in what? Not even year, like
4 years.
He's not. That's what I'm saying. He's not even in year 5, and the expectations that we've already put on this kid are, in my opinion, more than what Dwight had in those first 5. Even though he did take us to the final, but before then, that expectation of, all right, bro, like what are you doing every time you lose a game? Nah, bro. Like I think now we're putting an immense pressure on these young men.
At that point, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm about
he
to
had
say.
Other guys, Grant Hill coming back off the end. He had guys that could take the blows for him before he put on that mat. Like Dwight wasn't.
Let me explain that 2009 team. It was the strategy was 1 and 4 out because we had 4 elite shooters. Rashard Lewis, who was homeboys with Jesus Shuttlesworth. You know what I'm saying? So we have Rashard Lewis. We have Hedo Turkoglu, Vince Carter when Hedo Turkoglu wasn't in. But either way, elite shooters.
Jameer Nelson. 09, no Vince.
That's right, because they shared the number. That's right. But we had Hedo Turkoglu, who I think we had Ryan Anderson that year, if I remember. No, that year we also
Ryan was after Peaches was on that
squad. Peaches, Rafer Alston.
Williams was on that squad.
Courtney Lee,
Anthony Johnson.
and we were also top 3 defense that year as well. We were defensively and offensively dominating. We were overshadowed by the LeBron allure of LeBron in Cleveland. And let me tell you, we were LeBron's David, Mr. Goliath come in, and
we were the kryptonite for sure.
We were his kryptonite, absolutely, 100%. And not only that is we didn't have to let Anthony Edwards score 40 and we would still win. We were blown out in the playoffs. We blew out the Atlanta Hawks 4-0, winning by an average of 40 points a game. Like I was there watching. One of those games was great because everybody left and they could hear me yelling at them. Oh, it was beautiful.
So in honor of time's sake, y'all drop down in the comments in 2K's world, who do y'all think will win, the 2009 team or the current team? Y'all let us know. But yo, I heard you mention earlier about that AB Cares kickball game. Let's go into that a little bit. Talk about what we experienced out there this weekend. We were chatting about it a little bit, but how did your experience?
Tell us how you got linked up with AB Cares to begin with, and because you kind of let us know, before it got out there, like about the tournament, and of course we were definitely down. But let us know your relationship with AB Cares and everything. Let us know how you got linked up with them.
Yeah, man. Yo, shout out that shirt, bro. Big shout out to that shirt, man. Appreciate y'all for honestly supporting the squad. But man, honestly, so it really was a partnership that I have with AB Cares, where it's like now it's become honestly like those people are honestly great. Like when I tell you, like first things first, like I was talking to my cameraman C Money, which y'all met at the tournament. We were talking about if there was ever a player that we would never want to leave Orlando, it would be an Anthony Black, solely because the stuff that AB in the matter of time, AB's been in this team in this city less than 5 years, less than 4 years. Let's just put it at that, a high school run, right? And the impact that he's made just on the city itself of constantly doing events, constantly helping people like myself out, where I was just doing these videos where I just had the idea, we spent all this money on tickets, why not go to McDonald's? Their sandwiches cost like $2 each. Let's just buy like 10 sandwiches. Let's give them out before the game and we call it a day. And then it went from like 10 to 25 to 50 to 100. And then they honestly, I don't even know how they had found my video, but they reached out to me and I honestly thought, man, like I didn't even pay it attention, which is crazy like to say. And it took me like a good week and a half to like respond back to them. And I was just like, yeah, no, this isn't real. And then they were like, no, like this is real. Send me like emails and stuff like that. And then we just got partnered up. And the only thing that they mentioned was like, we don't even want to like take over your thing. This is your thing. Like we want to help you in the city because we know that back home in Texas, that's what we used to do before the fame, before we became Anthony Black, before all of that. Like we would do this. So it hit close to home that somebody in our team is already doing that. And of course, if they're able to help you out, why not? And I mean, when I heard that, it was just crazy to think because nowadays, these NBA players don't do anything unless paid, unless sponsorship. You see them like sit even at the podium, and they have a drink that's not paying them, they'll grab it and they'll move it, so it's gotten, which I understand, we're all moving, walking brands and I completely respect them for that. So it's like, I understand where they're coming from, but to have a player like AB who you're not Paolo Banchero, you're not Franz Wagner, you're not the number one selling jersey in the team shop, right? Just being all honest. He can have that great dunk, he can have all of that, but we know that it's Paolo, it's Franz, right? But the fact that he still said, you know what, we got to give back to the city, we got to do these events. And then to fast forward, right, we've already collabed like 3 or 4 times, and now we have this kickball tournament. They posted it on their story and they had reached out and they were like, hey, we're gonna have this kickball tournament, it's this much to sign up with a team of this many heads, so on and so forth. And honestly, the first thing that came to my head was, if AB cares, his mom Jen is always there for us in our channel, like we got to be there for them in their channel for sure. So it's like we got to give them that exposure that they give us. And I think that for players like a Dwight, a Shaq, right, they always talk about how that moment when they decided to leave, they feel like this solid with the city and they feel that everyone's against them and they feel that every time that they would go so on and so forth, it would be a negative experience, So in my head, honestly, just as a Magic fan, it's like we got to show up for these players, especially one like this who in less than 4 years has already done things for the community that aren't posted on social media, that aren't posted on ESPN. A fan in LA don't know about this AB Cares tournament. A fan in New York doesn't know about it. Any fan, even Miami fan, the closest team to us, don't know anything about this tournament. This is something that they did for the community. So it's like, it was just dope to be a part of. And again, big shouts outs to all of you and honestly for being there, showing up, buying the merch. Like, and this is just that second year that they had it first one in Orlando, and of course we were a part of it, so it was just great to, of course, say, and we'll be there next year, of course.
Yeah, no, salute to you, bro, because like you reached out, but like even before that, man, just salute to you and everything you've been doing for the city. Your background, my man comes up from Miami and does stuff for the city of Orlando. He's originally from the Oak Ridge area. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, you got it. Yes, sir. I'm from Oak Ridge, and we moved to Miami during college, like my college years, and we've stayed over here ever since. But I always try to go to Orlando at least twice or 3 times a season to go to a couple games for sure. And honestly, I've tried my best, and I still do go to every Heat Magic game that I can here in Miami, just to show up as a Magic fan. And what I will say is, even in Miami, I can attest. 5 years, I moved here in 2019. When I came to that game 2021-ish, my first like Heat Magic game, I would probably say it was me and probably 10 other Magic fans in that lower bowl sec, right? Pre-game, there was nobody there. I was the only one. Like now, there's hundreds of Magic fans in the lower bowl. There's people all over. Like you're walking the stadium itself and you're seeing them in blue. And of course, you're hearing the same conversations and the same words to the rings. Where's this? Where's that? But I will say this, for a team to have to pull up that they have ring, that means you're doing something right. Sure, we may not have ours, but I tell them this every time. Y'all had LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. I love Dwight Howard. All respect to Dwight Howard, but they had LeBron James and Dwayne Wade, who, no offense, they're 2 top 75 player teams. So they're top 75, both of them. Why they make the cut for whatever reason? So that just goes to show even more. LeBron, a guaranteed GOAT in many people's eyes, regardless if you like them or not. And it's like y'all had them and y'all only won 3. Y'all should have won more. So it's like
2 GOATs in their prime.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Another Hall of Famer right there, right behind. In their prime. And y'all got 2 of 4. 50%. 50, but
which it's more than all we need. I tell people our 1 is gonna mean more than their 3. And I'm telling you, especially the way we win it, I really hope it is again. I tell people all the time, I don't want no easy path. I would rather have a very stressful, each series goes to 6, maybe even 7 against a Celtic, Knicks, Pacers type of with a Halliburton, like that type of level where it's a Cleveland. We beat Cleveland in the first round, get over that hump, go to the Celtics in second round, shock them, go into the Eastern Conference Finals, and whoever can get it, and then we go into the finals and really do our thing, And I think that
that's a Netflix series right there.
I'm telling you, but you don't think I'm telling y'all what? When the Magic win the championship, and who know, I really hope it's before 2030, which I really have a feeling it will be. But I'm telling you, there's no way we win a championship in a boring fact. There's no way. No. The way the NBA is not, I'm not gonna say scripting their things, but the way they're marketing the league, the way they're doing the NBC thing, that Magic story of winning their first ever championship, it's gonna feed family. And who knows if they might even aren't not even trying to be funny. They want to ridicule us for being Disney all of these years. Who's to say Disney don't make an actual movie when we win the first ever championship that blows up and becomes a Space Jam-esque type movie? You never know.
Who's to say we don't do our championship parade at Disney World?
I'm
just saying.
That more of a city thing, man. I don't know about this.
I think there has to be 2, because there's no way they're our sponsor on the jerseys and there's no celebrate. Like I love the Super Bowl. That's the biggest event in American sports. Cool, I'll give it to you. But ain't no way the Super Bowl gets to say they're going to Disney World and we got Paolo Banchero, Franz, and all of them having a drive, hear all of the Disney music, see the merch, whether it's at Walmart, Publix, Target, the gas station. You see those Mickey ears and not have a Disney parade when we win it all. There's just no way.
They're gonna have to dumb it down. We're going to Epcot, because we're a smaller market team,
They might say we're going to Disney Springs and keep it family friendly. You know what I'm saying? Tell me not. Tell me not. That would be an insane. Orlando has I'm telling you, we have the leisure to really I just really hope that our franchise at that point, when we do win it all, cares about our city enough to be like, y'all, here you go. Y'all really we got to wild out. There's no way. It has to be a Toronto-esque, bring the city out, which I will shout out Orlando for that. When we are good and we're in the playoffs, the city's blue. The city's blue. It's crazy. And even now, I just went previously, when I just went, I'm literally at Jeremiah's and a little girl starts screaming at me, go Magic. And I'm like, bro, what's going on? Like, this has never happened. You know, this is a Boston type of story. This is a San Francisco type of story where it's a sport town where you've won those championships. You see little kids talking about the team. The fact the little girl is telling me go Magic is showing me that, like, oh no, like the change is there and we're not even getting past the first round yet. What's gonna happen when we tighten everything up and we tighten those gaps and get to that first round, get past that first round? And these players know. Going back to that AB Cares tournament, we talked to Sug, we talked to AB, we told them, yo, appreciate y'all for what y'all do for this city, and all they keep saying is like, this is our home now. You know what I mean? Like, regardless of where we from, you know, they care about the city. So I know they're gonna care just as much as us to have a ball when that does happen, you know. And I feel like that's why our expectations are so high, is because these guys honestly have a chance to do what our 2009 squad did, where it was Rashard, Jameer, and Dwight in the All-Star game, and Hito should have been in the All-Star game as well. So it's like, and everyone's like, he should have made it, he got snubbed. That's what could happen with us. I see a Paolo, a Franz, a maybe AB, a maybe Sug, where if we have a good enough run with a fully healthy squad, Desmond Bane completely disregard Desmond. I'm telling you, our starting five, I think, is pretty solidified. It's just that bench that needs to go back to Mahiko's point. I'm not gonna say we have a bench, because to me, a deep bench means no matter who's there, you're gonna win, right? And clearly, we're in a losing streak right now. But if you look from February 5th, right, to before this losing streak, we won. We only lost what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games from February 5th up to that Miami game, which was just 2 weeks ago. And a lot of people are now looking at this losing streak and saying, okay, this is what we're focused on, and losing just sucks, and this has been happening all season. We had a pretty good run for these past 20 games that we were on, but it's just losing back to back to back to back. Really, just especially after winning those 7 in a row, it's like a dang, like you get to that point where it's you're up and then you're back down, and it honestly defines our season. Which if there was a word, I would say roller coaster, because this has been an up and down where we really don't know where the ride is gonna end. We don't know if there's one more spin up, if there's one more spin down. We're just on the ride already, so it's too late. Like, we can't like unbuckle. We're already mid ride, you know. So it's like seeing this team and seeing tonight against Cleveland, it shows like we're trying to hit that loop. Like, we really are. It's just right when we get to the top, we keep falling back down and we lose that energy, and we have to rev it up again in a 3-game man. But we only have 11 games left, so it's like,
you look last season we were what, 41 and 41 and split down the middle, and right now we stand at 38-30. So there's 11 games to go. Where do you think we're going to end up this season? That's first question. Second question is, do you want to see, and we talked about before you came on, do you want to see us go to the playoffs this year, or would you rather sit it out, let our guys prove and focus and work towards next?
Personally, me, I would never, as somebody who went 7 years that we went without touching the playoffs, I would never ever tell myself, yeah, I'm gonna accept not making the playoffs. Even if we get swept, even if we need to make the playoffs just to be relevant, just to have our names in the pot, because I'm the type of fan where I think, okay, we haven't won, right? Everyone wants to slap it in our face, but it is true, right? We haven't won a championship yet. So when you think of like this Seattle and Las Vegas, where it's like, all right, whether you like it or not, they're probably gonna get a team, right? And you see a team like us, and it's like, all right, give it another 2 decades, we don't have a championship, they might relocate us, you know, and they might say, you know what, like, why do they deserve another 40 years with the franchise if there's no investment, there's no moving forward? So there is that pressure, and I feel like with this team, we have to go to the playoffs for sure, especially with a Desmond Bane. I wanted us to end up that 4th to 5th seed. I think that I really wanted us to be that team to play at least the equal, if not slightly better matchup in terms of being an 8th seed, playing the 1st seed, and just setting ourselves already up for a much harder task than needed. But I think looking at it right now, we're 38 and 34, right? If you look at the 5th seed, which is the Raptors, right at this current moment on Google, it shows them at 40 and 31. It's only a 2-game difference from the 8th and 5th seed, and we do have those 11 games left. What I will say is we do have the Kings, the Raptors, the Suns, and the Hawks, which I think all 4 of those we could win. In my personal opinion, I think it might be a battle, sure, but I think that just with those 4 games, you would have 6 games after against decent teams. I think the Pelicans really, and maybe the Bulls, are that least team, but you got the Timberwolves, you got the Pistons, even a Celtics, which that last game, they might not even be playing full strength, so it might be a Magic slated W in that game. But, you know, we don't want to count every game or think too far ahead, but I think that
lost to the
this
Pacers.
team,
I don't count any game.
Yeah, that is true. So I think that this team, I think we end up, if I'm being completely honest, final take, I'd say we probably end. I don't want to be in the play-in tournament. I say we barely make it to 6 and we escape that play-in tournament. But I see us. Yeah, I think I honestly could see us at that 6th spot. And who would we play at 6? The Knicks at 3 if they stay there.
I like
which
that.
I think I love that matchup.
I bet you do.
Regardless of.
I
if
want to see
we
us
win or
destroy
not.
them. I want to see us humiliate them. I'm not gonna post stories and reels of the other team's players, going off on my team. Nah, son. I'm all blue and white, baby. No orange. No orange.
Do you think that increases? And I think that increases our home court advantage, honestly, in terms of if we're able to beat a Knicks team and we're able to turn, because Knicks fans are that type of team. Like, we have to think about this. If we really want to win a championship, we need all aspects to be covered, right? And I feel like it starts from the front office to the arena staff to the, like, even the park situations at these stadiums, right? It really goes to those minute details. That's how big an NBA championship is, let alone a sports championship. And I think that with this team, if we invest the right time and the right people, the right efforts, and we get the right series, we go against New York and we beat New York in the first round. It sucks to say it, but that is at least a very close thing to a finals championship if there was one. So being that could be the first round, and we send Knicks fans, regardless that we lost in game 7 to the Cleveland Cavaliers after being up 16 and thinking we actually really did win that game. You got the Boston Celtics gentlemen sweeping us, right? Us having no ring, us whatever, all those oblique tears, all of that would be kicked out the window if we beat the Knicks in the first round and we eliminate them and we send them. I think regardless if it takes a second.
Only thing about that is it makes me nervous if we beat the Knicks, such a juggernaut opponent in the first round, that we might hit the young boy mind and be like, all right, well, we got them up out of here that first round, second round, lay back a little. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if we're mentally there yet enough to where we might take that and be like, all right, we got that out the way. Let's get to the next one. I think they'll be like, all right.
Do you think they want a championship now, though? Like, in terms of, because I don't think this team is ready for a championship right now. I love this team and I would want a championship, but
like mentally, I can't even picture them up there. Who's getting the finals MVP for what? Like, I can't see it right now. Like, conference finals, maybe right now, conference finals. I think we talked about this in the summertime, but like conference finals, I'm seeing them contending in the conference final, but maybe not necessarily winning it, but like at least getting there contending.
I think it depends on health. I mean, if we get Franz and AB back, because we know Suggs is coming back pretty soon. That he has a more minor injury, but we get Franz and AB back in time. Going like sky's the limit at that point. Depending on how fast we click and everything like that. Have Franz come off the bench. But if we get our team back, anything possible. And what great victory would it be for Franz to take out the team that took him out? Because it was that Knicks game, December 7th. He got hit by his own German teammate, hit him from the back and caused that injury. So what victory would it be? Just to take out that team that took us out. You try to take our season, we just took yours. Oh, right, it's so great.
I get you guys as fans, get it from a fan perspective that you want to see. No. Listen. I'll BS aside. I can understand.
Are we going to Miami?
No, we're not.
Okay.
We're not touching nonstop for anything.
I want to make sure.
The only thing Miami here is just Holly, bro. That's it.
Okay.
All right. So I can understand from a fan base the want, but I like the difference between the want. My needs are health. I need a health. I want a championship, but at what cost? At the cost of ruining somebody's career? No. And that's the thing that a lot of fans miss out on. Their drive of wanting that win hinders the reality of an injured player. Example, we have a roster of injured players that the fans want us back. They want to please the fans, come back. A lot of these players come back, or they have to come back either because of payroll, obligation, fan base, whatever it is. But they
foreign
come
games in Germany. I get you.
They come prematurely. So, I said this with Jalen. Jalen had serious injury, an injury that left with no cartilage in his knee. The man doesn't know how to give you less than 200, okay? He is balls to the walls from the moment he walks into the Kia Center or any arena that he forms in to the moment he gets to his whip drive. That's just in his DNA.
So what is your concern?
What happens when you have a player like that? What happens when you have a player like, and I'm talking as a parent, right? I have a son that wrestled in high school, played football, had multiple concussions, and was upset because I had to step in and say, you can't play, right? As a parent, you watch out for the future and the safety of your child. Who's watching out for the future and the safety of these players? Because they're making millions of dollars doesn't justify that their futures are not at stake.
Okay, but just speaking of generality, I'm asking you about this particular season, this particular playoff. Like what?
But wait,
we're not rushing
to that point though. When you're talking about the players playing injured, I can name 4 guys right now that are considered GOATs that played through all of their injuries. And sometimes that's what it takes to get to these points. Now, I don't want anybody risking their careers, but you got Kobe pulling his finger back into place. You got AI doing whatever he was doing with his elbow and shoulder. You got Dwayne Wade and all of his injuries. You got Michael Jordan with his stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's guys that are considered these GOAT that have to play through those things. And if our guys,
about different type of injury, you're talking about a torn Achilles. You're talking about a torn
generality. I'm asking you specifically, what about this team this year, this playoff? What is your concern? Because you're talking generalities about injury, and you're saying people are getting rushed in back. Franz he came back for that Germany game, which he shouldn't have, but since then he's been out and he's been rehabbing and he's slowly coming back. AB hasn't even.
We don't rush anybody back in Orlando.
We ain't rushing anybody back. So when they come back, we're not putting them in a position to get injured. So that's why I'm asking you, who are you concerned about specifically? Because again, like I said, you were speaking in generalities. I'm talking about this Orlando Magic team, this playoff. Why wouldn't you want to see them? Who are you afraid of is going to get injured?
Well, you see, AB has been out multiple times this season with weak injuries, and of that, you saw Jalen come back from his injury, play a few games, be taken out because he's sore, got re-injured, so we lose him. Okay, you got Mo, who seems to be scared to come back and get re-injured, which is another factor you got to deal with. Okay, you got who else is injured? You got J.I. who's injured.
He's gonna be a non-factor.
Huh?
I say he's gonna be a non-factor. But Franz, if he comes back, he's coming back healthy. When AB comes back, he's coming back healthy. Like, that's why I keep asking you about the re-injuries. Jalen Suggs has not re-injured the same knee, same thing. He had hip contusion. He had thigh contusion. He had
I get where you're coming from though as a parent, because I get you. I mean, I'm not a parent by all means, but I get what you're saying. But I will say this: when you made that decision as a parent, number one, your child didn't sign a multi-million-dollar contract that says, "Hey, we have team doctors who are paid millions of dollars to look out for you, make sure you're okay. If they say you're able to play, you're able to play." You know, things in that nature. Where I get where you're coming from, right? But at this point, like, these are men who are in the league, in the NBA, who Jalen Suggs knows not to die for the ball recklessly and still does. And I get it. I'm not saying it in a bad connotation, because the thing that I really do love about this team is that they're my age. And it's really the one time that I have in life to really equal out the age of the players on this team. If not, like, they're just barely older than me, if not some younger. So it's like I'm at that perfect age where I understand these players more than probably anybody on this chat, right? Where it's like they're my exact age, right? And I see that with them, you're gonna do what you want to do. It doesn't matter how many people tell me, "Hey, don't do this." If I feel like, all right, I can do it, they don't know nothing. But that's just that 25-year-old mentality, you know? And I feel like with a Jalen Suggs, we all tell him, "Jalen, don't do it." And he's still like, but just like you guys say, it's like that urge that he has inside of, you can't tell somebody who's practiced 20 plus years of their life, try extremely hard every single time, hey, ease it back in the moment where mentally you've built up, right? All because if we want to really get deep into it, you've built up your entire life for this moment, and then now instead of telling you go even harder, do this, do that, they're telling you tone it back, you're good. Like, it's very hard for him now to flip that switch when that's what got him to the NBA. That's what made him who he is. And I feel like you're leading into, and that's what a lot of Mo Wagner, it's an identity crisis situation where I feel like if we had a mental coach in Orlando, especially nowadays with these young players, where we just have to tell these guys, look, you've made it here for a reason, but you always have to remember nothing is permanent. It doesn't matter like how, like, everything gets evolved, everything moves forward. So let's just all move forward together. I feel like with this team, we're always going to have a scared Mo Wagner. We're always going to have a J.I. who might be a non-factor, and he shouldn't be. He should be a player that I think can easily is another one of those spots that he, if on any given night, can really be a 25-10 type of player and just doesn't ever reach that potential. And it sucks to say, because it's like time is running out, but time is running out to me with the J.I. experiment, because that's another spot, not including our 5, that we can have a deep bench with that is constant injured, that's constant DNP, that's a constant 2 to 5 minute person. And it's like with our teams, you look at all those championship teams, regardless of all of those teams and all those players you named, right, of all those injuries, their teams were deep. though, and actually deep. They had a Derek Fisher who made a shot to win games. They have a Robert Ory who makes shots to win games, who the normal fan may know, right? Because we're basketball fans, but the common person on the street doesn't know who Robert Ory is,
Right.
but they'll tell you who Tim Duncan is in San Antonio, and it's like those players who help these guys. And you could look, we're all wrestling fans here. Funny enough, Mahiko with the mask, right? There's a common theme in wrestling that people don't understand. And in every superstar, a Rock, a John Cena, Stone Cold, there's always a loser. And the loser always gets shadowed in the back. And there's a lot of famous losers where you're just so famous at losing against a big person that the Miz. And to me, I think the Miz is such a great wrestler and is one of honestly the greatest in my childhood, and he's one of the greatest. And I'm like, people sidetrack that because you don't win, you don't. But Miz makes you look good. Miz makes whoever it is.
Back in the day.
Dude, it's stuff. Without those guys, there would be no John Cena's, there would be no Rocks, there would be no guys like that. And I feel like on this, a Paolo Banchero can only be Paolo Banchero if he knows that when he goes onto this bench, Mo Wagner's gonna come in and hot show somebody and say, you know what, Paolo's having a bad night, but let's get this action going and let's get the moves.
That's Desmond Bane.
That's what I'm saying. I've been missing that. I've been missing that this whole season. I've been waiting all season for Desmond Bane and Mo Wagner just to body up on somebody, just be standing over him under the basket, looking at him. Like, that's what I'm waiting on. Like, we got the guys. We just got to get it going, man.
I honestly think he's playing scared. Yeah.
He's playing scared, Mo.
Yeah.
And it's a mental thing. Like you said, we need one of those mental coaches, sports therapists, sports psychologists, something like that, to where they tell these guys, look, you earned your career, but keep your job. You know what I'm saying? Like, you earn your career, now keep your job. You know what I mean?
I think, honestly, the playoffs is we only have 11 games left, right? Even if we get Webb, I think the guys need to see what it is to play playoff basketball and know a lot of these guys are Magic only guys, right? The biggest crowd, sadly, that we've ever had is the past 2 seasons against the Los Angeles Lakers. That's our most sold crowd. We need to go into a team, because if you look at the top 4 seeds, right? Cleveland, that's already a match made in heaven because it's all right, rematch, right? You got the Knicks, self-explanatory. Celtics, self-explanatory. In Detroit, you don't think Detroit is going to go all out crazy for their team in the first round, let alone during this entire playoff run. So we know that we got the chance to go, and let's not even 5, Toronto, an even bigger type of crowd, type of environment. We need these guys to experience that, whether it's for 5 minutes in Jet Howard, but I need Jet Howard to know what it feels like to grab that ball.
Jace,
get that ball with a muted. It's so loud in here that you can't grab the ball. That's what we need, because you don't understand that feeling until you're in it. And then once you're in it, if you're really cut from that cloth, you would never, it's like that high that you never can get again until you're back in the moment. And it's like, once you get that first ever crowd roar in your name and you realize, like, those players know that Kia Center gets loud. But the moment that we have that playoff video promo showing, the moment that they show Dwight in the crowd, a Jameer in the crowd, and you have people actually going crazy, I think that now is where these players are going to see, like, whoa. And that's just the first round. And I think they know just as us, if we're able to do all of this, what's going to happen when we really make it deep, you know? And it's like a lot of these guys to not play scared going to New York first round of the playoff. That's the bet. Like, to me, there is no worse atmosphere that you can have in the NBA than a first round New York Knicks Madison Square Garden match, because those Knicks fans, whether we hate them or not, they are hungry for a ring just like us. And the worst thing about it is they have expectations that are bigger than our entire franchise. I'll give it to them. But the thing is, they have the movie, they got the Avengers, they got this, they got that, Broadway, all of that. They're New York. They're the biggest city in the whole United States. We're just trying to make our name. So we have that. Okay, sure, we could be ringing. They don't got an excuse. Y'all are the biggest tourist attraction there is, and y'all still are buns, and you've been buns for plenty of years.
Box office.
So it's
independent film status right now.
Exactly. But they haven't released an Oscar-winning film since, you know. So it's like,
and we
I
at
get
Sundance right now getting it together.
And that's what I'm saying. And they're itching. So I know that's what I'm saying, where I'm like, even if they're injured, obviously we don't, the same way Mahiko and Curve are saying, we're not saying risk your careers. By all means, we need y'all for these next 5 years. But if you're able to step out there and just get the ball, and even if you airball it, but you're able to hear that crowd yell out at full strength how they feel about you. Once you go back to the Kia Center on a regular season game number 25 against Charlotte and you have that ball in your hands and nobody's yelling, you're like, oh, wait a minute, this is a different feeling. But now it's all nerves. Once you experience it that's it, because you experience it. Paolo, he had that Cleveland matchup. There was a very short stint after that Cleveland playoff series that Paolo really tapped into his bag and became this like cut into the paint, slam it on people, and like really became this like monster. Then the oblique thing happened and that really stalled a lot, right? But Paolo, that playoff series, learned that he can go into a good team's house and take over and know that, all right, like I know what it is to go back to Orlando and win my crowd over and have back-to-back great games in Orlando. So I feel like we definitely need the experience. And even if we are semi-injured, even if we do lose that first round, we need it more than that. If we don't make the playoffs, oh yeah, somebody's gonna fight for sure. It's like one of those like we can't not make playoffs. We didn't go through all of this to we didn't do all of this to go back for sure.
And to put a positive bow on it, I think, like you said, the story, if we do end up winning a lot and going to get that championship with our homegrown talent with Jalen Suggs, if we keep J.I., Jet Howard, Jace, Noah, Paolo, Fran, Jalen, you know what I'm saying? All these guys that we have from draft. What kind of story are we looking at on Nets, guys? This is about to be crazy.
But to drop a quick bomb, though, do you really think we can win a championship by keeping Franz and Paolo Banchero? Question of the summer, question of that, like, a lot of people, and I didn't realize how many people were really talking about this until somebody mentioned it to me, and then I'm seeing it all over my algorithm, and it's like, bro, why did y'all speak about it? Because now, like, my phone heard it, and now it's everywhere. And I think that with this team, I think we are missing somebody, though. I think that we found our guy in Bane. We found that one stepping stone to really get us there. But in my personal opinion, that's where I'm looking at Wendell and saying, Wendell, I rock with you enough to say you're in your prime right now in terms of years and your health. Let's get you off to a good team, get good enough pieces, and get a true center. Because if we're able to get a center that's able to give Dwight Howard's biggest thing besides Superman was Mr. Double-Double. If we're able to get somebody who is able to give us a double-double, we don't need the block. We don't need the flashiness. We don't need get us bored. And I'm telling you, this team would feed. Desmond Bane doesn't shoot more than 6 free throws a game. 6 3-pointers a game. You're a 3-point specialist. We got you to shoot threes, and you have people like Jet Howard chucking up 7 threes in 15 minutes. Or you have somebody like Wendell Carter Jr. shooting 6 threes, while Desmond Bane is shooting 4 threes and going 2 for 4, you know? And it's like, if we're able to get that center, that we don't have to focus on that center making that 3-point shot. We got that true center in the paint to grab every board that we got. We can focus on getting that elite 4 to surround that center. Dog, we can be a scary team, and I think we got him. I think Anthony Black has that shot.
Name a center you would bring.
I'm gonna say conversation a couple months back. I said like a Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford type of like a kind of guy.
I think for sure. I mean, honestly, the first one that comes to mind, and I mean, honestly, this is just the first name that hit me, was like, if we was to get a Mark Williams type of guy who, sure, that he's just a body, right? And the thing is, sure, you got the shot, but the thing is, you're a body though, and you are known for your body and you're known for the board. I think regardless of the name, it doesn't even have to be a big name like a Gafford or somebody like a Lively. It can be
Thomas Bryant.
We can get a Thomas Bryant, and we can exude Thomas Bryant for what he needs to be, and that gives us the opportunity to spend money in another place instead of having to go with a Derek Lively. And it's like, all right, cool, we have that position. We don't need an A+ in that position. All we need is a solid C to just get those boards and keep a body in the paint to eliminate more people outside stopping these shots.
Need a go-go plus.
So for me, it's the fact that we drafted long players. We were on this way for positionless basketball, and now what we're doing is we're realizing we need traditional roles, and so now we're trying to piecemeal everybody back in these traditional roles. Now going back to Coach Mose knows how to play defense. So Mose knew how to capitalize on long bodies at every position. He doesn't know how to capitalize on offense. He doesn't know how to capitalize on mentoring and leading. And so I think going in with we may need a center, or we may need a traditional point guard. I think we definitely need a traditional position because we can't just be all positionless basketball. And I think we need a proper general to run this team. So and I was saying, like, I rode for Mose hard until about this week. This week was just this five game.
Was it that Pacer game? It was that Pacer game, the nail in the coffin.
It really wasn't. It really wasn't the Pacer game. It was actually the Lakers game more than anything. Was just like the highlight, because even though it was coaches, it's the fact that and we talked about this earlier. It's that LeBron James. We went off LeBron James. Yeah, the ball clearly went off of LeBron James. pivotal possession, and we didn't challenge the call. We had a timeout. You should have challenged it. There's been so many times this season where there were frustrating calls that you should have challenged and you didn't. Or to your point, why is he letting teams go on 10-point runs before he calls a timeout? He calls a timeout 10 points too late. We're already demoralized. Our young core, you don't have the skills to talk Paolo off the ledge when he gets in his head like that, then you need to do a better job of calling timeouts. That's what I'm saying. He doesn't do those X's and O's. You can only sit on your platitudes of sitting down on defense and creating magic culture so much when magic culture is just a term and it's empty, like heat culture. It was just a term. It was empty. There was nothing to it. And that's kind of what magic culture is turning into. Kind of like my little heat dig there.
Stay quiet, man, because I know the moment I say something, you're going to go ham.
So I'm gonna call a timeout right here. We got to do this again, fellas. I know it's getting late. We're post game right now. It's almost midnight. We're still on here, but I wanted to wrap it up here with you guys, man. We got it. I appreciate you, Hollywood, for coming on here with us. Make sure y'all tap in with his show, Fanatics Live on YouTube, man. Make sure y'all watch his show and get all the magic conversation y'all want. He's definitely dropping on the live stream. You know what I'm saying? Hop in the chat. You know what it is. Tell them where to find you.
So just on YouTube, on YouTube, it's gonna be just Hollywood 407. We literally right after this, we're gonna end this, start our Fanatics show live, just dive into that Cleveland game. But yeah, we try to do that pregame, that postgame after in every game that there is, whether it's playoffs, whether it's a regular season game, in-season tournament, just talking Magic hoops. Usually, I'm not gonna lie, the pregames are usually short because it's really simple. It's like what we talk about. There's really nothing much to say, but we have to win, right? But those post games are usually where we dive in. We like talking about them, and we really dive into these conversations where you have something that starts off as a 5-minute conversation, ends up being a 2-hour show, and it's like one of those where, all Magic fans tap in. And I think, honestly, this is the first time, not to take over the outro, but this is the first of many of these collabs that we're going to be doing. And I think that
for sure
we need to have more of these as Magic content creators. And I think that with our group in specific, I know that with Another Magic Minute, with Gotham Grails, with Hollywood, all of it together, we make a good group. And I know for this playoff season, this is going to be special, this playoff run that we're going to have, whether it's a roller coaster or not, regardless who we play, because I think if you look at every single team that's in the playoff seeding right now, Philly, Atlanta, Toronto, Cleveland, New York, Boston, and Detroit. The only one is Detroit, and that's only because of their experience, and it's their first time being that high in a long time, so they're going to be rocking. So each one of these teams has something going for them. Charlotte, first time in a long time that they've been good. Miami, it's always Miami. The Bucks, same thing. And that's from 1 to 11, So it's seeing the way the NBA is going, seeing the way that we're going. I think that this is the first of many collabs that we have, and I think that this was phenomenal. I appreciate y'all. I know I came in that second half of the show, but definitely thank y'all for honestly just having me in this first time.
Great conversation, great points, man. We definitely gonna do this again, bro. It's been a long time coming. And make sure y'all follow his page, man. He's as y'all can see, very knowledgeable about the Orlando Magic and all of our history, organization, all that kind of stuff, man. So tap in with our guy. But I'm gonna take us up out of here real quick. We're gonna get Magico out of his mask. I know he's going crazy under there. But it's been another
Magic
Minute, baby.
podcast.
Yes, sir.
Let's get it.
Wow.